And we're live on Facebook.
Oh, because you
Getting,
said it the other way this time, and I was confused again.
no, I just meant the feed is going to Facebook and it's going to YouTube, but like YouTube immediately goes live.
I thought Facebook immediately went live.
I'm just going to check to make sure. Okay, cool. Audio,
I'm so
uh,
confused.
and then checking on YouTube to make sure we have audio. Yes, we do. Cool. Awesome.
Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check.
Checkity, check.
Checkaroo.
And then the weird thing about Facebook is like it shows me the chat window only after it starts, so I can't remember where the chat shows up. What is that noise?
I was moving because Spike moved.
Ah,
And now I'm going to get comfortable with this big giant pillow behind me.
cool.
Because my back is very sore. Oh, that's
How are you feeling? We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Hello, all you YouTube listeners and watchers. There's no one on YouTube.
There's no one here.
There's zero people.
I'm here.
Hello.
I'm ready. What you got there?
I have a Starburst IPA from Ecliptic.
Nice.
It's quite nice. It's a little heavy, but it's good. I always feel obligated to have some form of beer on this day.
The Day of the Father.
Yes. And those who play fathers for others, regardless of their gender.
Yes. And other, yeah, regardless, and other.
And other things.
Well, no, I mean, like there are
people,
there are children who like reject having a father for reasons, and so like just having a male stable figure.
No, I was actually talking more about moms who are also have to play the double duty of being a father as well.
I know. You celebrated me on Father's Day for a while. It was really nice.
Yeah. Then
you stopped.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I did that for a couple of years. Cool. Enough. Enough novelty.
All good.
Says you. Where's my Father's Day present?
I don't know. Your Father's Day present is me using my Father's Day present. That's
nice. It was one of the best meals I've had all year. So you didn't use your Father's Day present on it, though.
I kind of did. I looked at it.
You looked at it? Okay.
Yeah. And then I can see. So my setup, for folks who aren't watching but may watch this later, like I have YouTube on one side, I have Riverside in the middle, which is our streaming software, and then I have Facebook on the other side, so I can see 3 different screens going with people and things and stuff. So Facebook should be going live here in a minute, and then we
less than a minute, I would say.
We'll be able to get going with the show.
Cool. Because after the show, I get to make dinner.
Yes. Energy smiles, everyone smiles. The plane smiles, says Mr. Rourke.
I'm smiling.
I know.
I liked the horror fantasy island.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 6:00. Let's see if YouTube goes live. Hello, YouTube. Are you going live?
Hello, YouTube. You mean Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. Thank you. Okay. Whatever these social channels are, I don't know. Looks like Facebook is live now as well.
Okay.
So welcome, everyone, to Mildly Interesting People. This is what is currently a weekly production meeting, but may be reduced in season 2. I don't know. We're going to see, but let's get everything underway.
It startled me that time.
Yeah, I have the music. So welcome. you are now part of the production crew, having tuned in to our behind the scenes production meeting. So
Wait, does that mean I'm part of the production crew?
yes,
Hmm.
technically, but you're more of the talent. So for those of you who haven't watched this before, or been here before, or lived before, I don't. This is our, this is our behind the scenes where we let you in to see what's going on with the podcast, what we're thinking about doing, where we're having challenges. We also share stats. We often will test drive content that we will release on the show. However, given that this is the end of season one, we will be doing something different. By way of introduction, this is Cami Chaos. She is the host of the show, and I'm Rick Turoczy. I'm the producer of Mildly Interesting People. And we usually
And we're
start
mildly interesting, the two of us.
We're the mildly interesting people.
Our guests are wildly interesting, but we don't have one of those.
We don't know.
It's production meeting.
We don't know why the wildly interesting people hang out with us, but they do. And for some reason they enjoy it. I don't know, probably more than you, because you're not even here. You didn't show up for the production meeting, which is cool. It's not a requirement to show up, just so long as you watch it at some point. However, it's much easier to get your feedback in real time if you show up to the production meeting.
But if you don't see this to know that you're supposed to watch it, then it's okay that you didn't watch it because you didn't know that you were supposed to. So you're fine. So basically what we're saying is it's all good.
Yeah, and some people may have other things going on today, especially. I would just say that the next production meeting you will not want to miss. So if you're watching this after the fact, mark your calendars, go to your YouTube or your Facebook and register as going to attend.
I want to go now. What's going to happen?
Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Tuesday the what?
Tuesday the what? That's a great question. Tuesday the what? 28th? I don't remember what the date is on that day. Tuesday the, let me look here. Tuesday the 27th at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. We will be holding the very first live Mildly Interesting People production meeting for season 2, which means you will get all kinds of inside information on what we're going to be doing and all the exciting stuff.
Secrets.
And if you show up, you'll get to know before anybody else. And then you can show up the next day at work and be like, guess what's going on at Mildly Interesting People? I'm not going to tell you because I showed up to the production meeting.
And then the people will be like, what is Mildly Interesting People? And then you'll be like, oh, it doesn't really matter.
And they'll be like, get a life. Like, what are you doing?
Find some wildly interesting people to pay attention to.
Anyway, so we generally start this, and I feel like this is going to be a short one. I feel like it's going to be a short production meeting. We usually start this with just some mildly interesting small talk. So Cami, just to kind of warm the room up, make Cami feel comfortable in the environment. Like, what have you got? What have you got going on? Like, did you watch anything interesting this week that you would like to talk about? Perhaps
I have to contemplate like whether or not I want to admit that I've been watching something. So let me think on that for a moment. I will say that we rented Dungeons and Dragons last night.
Oh yeah, we did. Wah, wah, wah.
A lot of people told us that it was so bad that it was good. It was so good. They were like, it's so good. Oh, it was so funny. It was so sweet. It was so charming. No, not for me.
Didn't really work for me. I literally.
You liked every moment of Chris Pine.
I did. That was the thing. Like, I don't know if I was like queuing myself up for like just be entertained by some aspect of this, but you know, there are all the Chris's, and Chris Pine is fine. Like, you just erase that little part of the P and it's Chris Pine, Chris Fine. He's fine. it was not what I expected it to be at all. Although I did appreciate that midway through the movie, Cami had to lean over and go, "You do realize these are all the monsters from the Dungeons and Dragons guide, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, thank you. I needed you to tell me that."
Well, he didn't play D&D when he was young, folks. He didn't
I
play D&D.
observed D&D.
I played a
So,
lot of D&D when I was a kid,
yeah, no,
and
that's fine.
as a teenager and as a young adult. And then like 10, 15 years ago I did. And I can't know, there are times I want to play again, but this movie killed that desire for me right now.
We found a way to reincorporate D&D into Cami's life without
We
her
did.
having to play D&D.
And I'm
which
pretty
is
happy about it.
which is what's happening on season 2. So, but we're not talking about that here because this is the end of season 1.
Okay, I've been
Season
walking.
2
No,
is
we're
next
not talking
week.
about season 2 yet. I'm going to tell the people because it's embarrassing. And they
What?
should know. I've been watching Walker, Texas Ranger with the guy from Supernatural and Gilmore Girls as the main character. It's the reboot of the show Walker, Texas Ranger that used to have that one guy with the hair.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Jared Padalecki, I think is his name.
That's
and
pretty
he
good.
doesn't, he has better hair than Chuck Norris, but he doesn't have that same Chuck Norris. Anyway, I don't know why I'm watching it.
Who could
I
have a
do.
Chuck
I'm in a
Norris
depression
fight?
spiral. And so I'm watching. I had to find something bad. And I was hoping if I found something that wasn't too long, then my depression spiral for watching TV would be shorter. I don't think there are that many seasons of it. It's not a good show, but.
Speaking of disappointing television and movies, that Stan Lee thing was not good. Like it felt like it was made for, and this is even insulting to third graders. It felt like it was made for third graders or lower to like.
I don't know who the target audience for that. I wish we could
Was,
have a better term than target audience. I don't like the use of the word target.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The
intended audience. It was not. I felt like I wasted my.
The demographic they were the demographic they were
See, it's
engaging.
hard.
They were engaging a certain demographic, and
The
I don't know what
demographic
it
they were
was.
working toward.
Yeah, but it's don't waste your time on the Disney Plus Stan Lee thing. It's everything you already know about Stan Lee, and then I don't care if this is a spoiler or not. Like with 5 minutes to go, they actually start to get into the tension of what occurred at Marvel when Stan was like, "Oh, I did everything," and the other
I'm the
people were like,
creator. I'm the only
people,
creator.
"Wait a second, we did some stuff too," and there was some tension there, and then like, "Yeah, we're done. It's over."
I saw another documentary a while ago that like, I think it was a series around the Marvel stuff that spent an entire episode talking about essentially that Stan Lee believed that he had been the creator of these characters, specifically of Spider-Man, and hadn't been crediting the artists who created the visual. And anyway, what Rick said, don't bother.
Yeah, it's not.
And we're fans, so that it's sad to say that.
I have a picture of the man like within eyesight with me and other people. So like
I wondered how you were going to phrase that. That was a good job. With me and other people.
That may be relevant to me today especially. So those people are in that photo as well. But a huge amount of respect, but not I don't know, I don't put him on a pedestal as the be all and end all, like any more than I do any CEO. Like the only reason any leader CEO is successful is because of the people they surround themselves with. So there just wasn't there. At least they talked about those folks and some of the roles that they played. But yeah, it's not worth your time unless you're really bored.
And then we watched even. I think it would just make me mad. It was making me mad while we watched it because it was so boring. The Stan Lee thing.
Oh,
but I was going to move on to the space movie we watched that I don't remember the name of.
Stowaway. It was good. I mean, it kept me entertained throughout. Like I like I like the actors in it. All of the actors I like. and it created some tension, but then they got to the point where like we don't know how to end this.
Yeah,
Like
that's
who?
the thing for me. So I particularly like two of the actors.
Mhm.
I'm fine with. I kind of really, actually, I like most. You're right, I do. It only had
Yeah,
four actors.
it was a great, and it was
There,
definitely a
there are two
pan.
actors in it that like Daniel Day Kim and Anna Kendrick are both in it, and I particularly like both of them.
And it was definitely a pandemic film. It was,
Yeah, it was like four people in the cast, tiny. So like they were filming
yeah.
while there was contagion, and they were doing so responsibly. It looked like, I don't know. Anyway, that's what we've
So
been watching.
so enough of all the negative stuff. I will say I was going really negative on this other one that we watched, and then it became hugely positive, taxing John Wick level of action and violence.
Oh my gosh,
Extraction 2 with another Chris Hemsworth.
he's my. I don't know. He's tied for first place in the Chris's in my heart.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth admits that Chris Evans is the best Chris. Maybe just because it was Chris Evans' birthday. I don't know.
I don't know,
But
but
he said
Chris
that.
Evans and Chris Hemsworth are the Chris's that are. He knows.
So Extraction 2, you'll watch it and you'll be like, what is even going on here? This is so slow. This is not what I signed up for. And then Idris Elba will show up and you'll be like,
Oh hi.
Is Idris going to make it more exciting? No,
No.
he's not. And then like maybe 10 minutes later, like nonstop from then on, it's just boom,
So
boom, boom, boom.
9 minutes later, Rick actually stops looking at the screen to say, I thought they said this was going to be bloody and full of action. And then, like 1 minute later, he rips a person's hand in half.
Yeah.
And,
So it begins.
it was, I don't remember if the ripping the person's hand in half happened right at the 10-minute point, but I do remember that like 1 minute after he complained that there was no action, blood everywhere, gory, gross stuff.
I waited to complain, and then
did.
it was a 10-minute later.
But man, that moment when he ripped that person's hand in half, I was just.
Yep.
It was a good movie. I mean, I don't know if it was a good. I enjoyed it greatly. That's what we'll say. I enjoyed it greatly.
It was entertaining for the demographic. It was engaging.
It made me want to watch the first one again because I don't remember the first one, and I wonder.
Yeah, they're such plot-driven films. I feel like I might have missed a character.
I was
trait.
like, no, it's not that I thought I missed a character trait. I'm like, maybe there was that great of violence in it in the first one, and I just wasn't.
The first one was pretty good.
attention.
We can go back
Okay.
and watch that.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind that. That's
well, thank you for bringing that up. I forgot. I loved that.
It was the only bright spot of show watching
for our
this
weekend.
Really, was that one.
The writer's strike is really impacting us personally. I'm sure it's not impacting the writers or all of Hollywood or any of you.
No, it's just causing a problem for us.
But it is.
Can we resolve this issue for us?
Can we please pay the writers fairly and equitably? Can we give them the things that they need? Can we stop threatening to replace them with AI?
If you think AI is going to replace them, go back and watch the last episode and you'll learn a lot about the last episode of the season, I might add, episode 20.
Episode 20.
With Mr. Martin Kelly. He talks all about the AI. He knows about the AI. There's no I in it. It's all A. It's
just all A.
According to him.
A.
All right.
Blank.
Are we... All right.
I'm ready.
So, are we ready? Okay, so
I'm ready. Oh my gosh.
Here's the thing. So that we're at the part of the show that none of you are watching, but maybe you're watching it later, that we call this part mildly interesting questions. And generally what we will do, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Mildly interesting questions are a lightning round of questions where we ask our guests 5 questions that they have to answer as quickly as they possibly can. They have top of mind, first thing that comes to them. If they get really stuck, they're allowed to pass on the question, but they have to come back to it. There's no way to avoid the question. And so during the production meeting, what Cami and I like to do is kind of workshop potential other questions that we could ask those guests in the future or whatever, or we have a new format that if you haven't heard, we're not going to tell you until the next production meeting because that's season 2. This is just season 1. So the way we thought we would wrap up season 1, this Cami's idea, I think it's brilliant, is we will ask one another the questions we always ask the guests. Now, the only thing that kind of switches up is Cami and I have heard these questions at least 20 times now. So we probably formulated some answers of our own to each of those questions. So this rapid fire, sorry, I know you don't like that one.
Thank you.
This lightning round may be really a lightning round because we all have. Oh, Janet is here.
Hi, Janet.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt that.
Shots. That's what I'm guessing is happening in Janet's house right now.
So we are going to go through the questions. We've already asked the guests. If you've watched any of our shows, you've seen those questions, but you may be interested in what Cami's responses are and perhaps my responses, although mine are worse than mildly interesting. Janet says you guessed correctly about what she was doing.
I know, my girl. All right.
Cool. All right. So we'll start with Cami asking me, and then I ask Cami.
Also, there's a little bit of exposition involved in us answering these questions, just because we do the mildly interesting questions to workshop things. So there may be a little tangent here or there. Rick, are you ready for season 1? Mildly interesting questions.
Recap with hosts and producer. Yes.
Yes, but I'm asking you the season 1 mildly interesting questions.
Oh, yes, you are. Yeah. I think I'm ready. And I'm so happy to be done with, I don't ever have to answer questions ever again, right? This is
that
the
is
last.
False.
Okay, fine. Let's just go. We'll discuss later. Let's move along.
Question number 1.
Asked
what
and
is
answered.
What is your favorite but least useful hobby?
I had to put a lot of thought to this one. It's photography. Photography is the only thing I do for the pure joy of taking photos and framing images and those kind of things. So like, I don't really get much utility out of it. I just enjoy doing it and have done it since I was a kid.
Cool. Question number 2. Would you like to survive the zombie apocalypse?
Yes, I think so. But I want to stay back at camp and just cook for people. Like, I don't really want to be fighting zombies on a regular
I would like
basis.
you to stay back at camp cooking and being safe as well. Yeah.
Okay. So long as I can do that, I'm fine. If I need to go out on an expedition to acquire and forage for ingredients, that makes sense. I may kill a zombie or 2 during that. Who knows? Zombies may be some type of delicacy in the future, and I would like to serve zombie for one of the meals. Maybe, I don't know, but
okay.
I don't. Maybe
I would worry that eating zombie flesh would turn you into a zombie.
But what if it's cooked? Wouldn't it be like any other parasite? I'm not serving you zombie sushi.
Then it's still close enough to cannibalism that I don't want to be involved in that either.
Okay, come on. Desperate times call for desperate menus. Just we need to do what we're going to do.
I agree with you. Desperate times do call for desperate menus. All right, Rick, speaking of menus, what is the last food you photographed?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So I was thinking about this one as well. If you count coffee as food, which I do, then it was coffee. If you feel like coffee is not a food, then this is definitely a food. It was a container of ranch dressing on top of a pizza box. So even if you disagree that coffee is food, ranch is most definitely food.
Ranch is food. Rick, what is the best season?
I don't like get as gussied up as I used to. I used to have a sense of fashion, as you can tell from the way I show up every
He was very
episode.
fancy.
But I really always appreciated my fall wardrobe more so than anything else. So I'm going to have to say fall.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the last question for you this season.
Ever. The
This
last question
season.
ever. Oh,
This season. Magnets or stickers?
stickers, easy.
Okay.
And my answer may surprise you because I often don't like blemishing I'm gently caressing my laptop here that has no stickers on it. I don't necessarily like putting them on my phone. However, I do appreciate the art form of stickers, and stickers are far easier to store than magnets. I can stack stickers up till the cows come home.
He's also one of those water bottle sticker people.
Yeah, I do have stickers
Yeah.
on my water bottle.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, you
Funny
have
thing is-
completed the season
Funny
1
thing
gauntlet.
is, like, 3 of those stickers are my stickers. That local as fuck and Silicon Florist and Pie are all my stickers. But,
It's true.
well,
Also doesn't say local as fuck. It says local AF. Can you read?
no, actually, that's the saddest part. Don't tell my alma mater that I spent all that money on an English degree, and
They really won't care that you
Oh.
can't read. They got the money. It's all good.
Why can't Rick read? Next on ABC's After School Special.
On a very
All right.
special episode of Mildly Interesting People.
All right, my turn. Am I done?
Your turn. You get to ask me now.
I'm officially done with answering questions forever.
This season.
I have a purple pen.
For this season.
All right. Anyway, so mildly interesting questions for Cami Kaos, which happen to be, if you've watched the show before, questions you will recognize. Okay. This is not my list of questions, so I don't know why I'm looking at it. My list of questions is right there. Okay. Cami.
Yes.
What is your favorite but least useful hobby?
I had to give this a lot of thought because I'm one of those people who hyper fixates on hobbies. And then I have a hobby for like 3 days to a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go and do something else. So I have a lot of incredibly unuseful hobbies and supplies for those hobbies sitting around. And I think that what I've decided is my favorite but least useful hobby, regardless of what I'm currently hyper fixated on, is making yarn out of t-shirts.
Ah, that's a good one.
Thank you. It could be useful in the zombie apocalypse, though.
It could be if we needed throw rugs.
Or
something.
bags or scarves, or if we just needed to take old shredded
Scarves.
t-shirts. Old shredded t-shirts that are no longer good for wearing, we can turn them into thread. You can crochet things from them. You can knit things from them. I can't crochet or knit things from them. I have made a section of a very large rug, and I'm getting ready to get back to that. That's not even making t-shirt yarn. That's just cutting them into little tiny pieces that you tie onto a rug. The t-shirt yarn making is that's where the magic is. And if I could, I would start a company and just make t-shirt yarn and sell it to people who can make amazing things out of t-shirt yarn because it's so fun and fulfilling.
Okay, t-shirt yarn.
Yeah.
That's the answer anyway. Okay. Would you like to survive the zombie apocalypse?
Yes.
Why?
I want to live.
Okay.
I've spent a lot. Also, I've spent
No,
my
you've said
entire
enough.
life. I've spent my entire life being anxious about shit. And like, there's a part of my brain that is prepared for the worst case scenario. And like, I want to see if I could, be helpful in that situation. It's also why I've been learning about medicinal plants and how to make t-shirt yarn and canning or jarring and pickling and like things like that. And, yeah. So there. And I like knives because I'm Finnish.
Yeah. It's in your DNA. You can't not like knives. Okay, cool. What was the last food that you photographed?
An absolutely beautiful piece of salmon with the skin perfectly crispy. So, like, so crispy that you can just peel it off and eat it like a chip. Uh, over some grilled broccolini with a really lemony hollandaise.
Hmm.
I'll give it to Rick. He can edit it into this so that you can see our last food photos.
Yes, I'll be happy to do that. It was the grill. It was the grill that did the skin so well.
It was
I have
amazing.
nothing to do with that. I just
You're the
looked
one
at
that
it
put
for a
it on
while.
the grill. So
Oh,
I'm just
that's
saying.
right. All right. Next question. What is the best season?
Fall.
Huh. Why?
There are a lot of reasons, but one of them is just the feeling and sound of stepping on crunchy leaves, watching the weather change. Also, in the fall, it's this nice season where you're not running the air conditioner, you're not running the heater. Halloween is in the fall. I get to start wearing sweaters and scarves and my beanies. People don't stare at me because I'm wearing a hat. The sun is still shining. I love it. And then you got all those like nice fall vegetables coming up. And yeah, I like the fall. The fall is
Okay.
magical to me.
Cool. There are also a lot of slugs in the fall. If you like slugs.
There are. I don't particularly like slugs,
Oh,
but there are a lot of them in the fall. That is
and
true.
spiders. Slugs and spiders.
Are there actually more spiders in the fall, or do you just notice them more?
I notice the spiders the most in the spring and the fall.
I
I
think
don't
about the
know why.
spiders the most during the fall because Halloween and spider webs and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
I wonder if it's the way that the light hits in the spring and the fall that makes you think about the spiders more because of the way that, like in the spring, the dew settles on the webs and you can
Mm.
really see them take form, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not an arachnologist.
Should we talk about arachnophobia? I love that movie.
No.
We should
John
watch it. It
Goodman,
was
we
filmed
should
in
not.
Cambria.
Cool. All right. And your final question of the mildly interesting questions
Yes.
ever that you have to answer, right? It's your
Yeah.
last question ever.
Of the season.
Ever.
Of the season.
Magnets or stickers?
It's so funny you should ask that question because I've spent the entire season being very judgmental, but the more I think about it, for practical reasons, I'm going to say magnets.
Huh.
I can't
What-
believe
what-
it. I can't
what-
believe it myself.
What practical reason is there to have magnets?
What if I'm outside playing in the dirt and I want to get all the metal pieces out of it? How am I going to do that with a sticker? If I do that with a sticker and I stick the sticker to the dirt, it's just going to pick up all of the stuff. However, if you get the magnet out, you can pick up all the little trace pieces of metal, and then you can probably get a splinter. Mhm, mhm.
No. I would yeah. Oh, I mean, yes. There are no
They're
wrong
magic.
answers.
They're made
There's-
of magic.
there are no wrong answers here.
I just like, what if we have science and we need to like in Wakanda when they do those rails and stuff, they're using that special metal, but isn't it also partly based on like magnetic repellency and vroom, and like we can make so
vibranium.
vibranium. Is it called vibranium? Yeah, vibranium. Here's the thing: we can actually do real shit with magnets. Stickers are just pretty and superficial. I love stickers. Don't get me wrong. I've just really reflected on this over the season when I listen to these people answer these questions and been like, no, you're wrong. It's not magnets. It's not magnets. But the scientific value of magnets is amazing. Also, they're still a complete mystery. Stickers are not a mystery. We know why stickers stick. There's sticky stuff on them.
To be fair, I'm just pretty and superficial as well.
You are. I like it.
All right. Cool.
But you're also a great cook.
Fair. So Janet had 2 comments that are out, and third, she now has 3 comments. So let me touch on the magnet stuff. Stranger Things showed how important magnets are. I don't know that reference because I
It's a
started
television
watching.
show.
I started watching Stranger Things, and I gave the first episode a chance, and then the second episode, I'm like, this costuming is not the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I know what the 80s look like. This is not the 80s. I am unwilling to suspend my disbelief for these cherubs garbed in false 80s wear. I can't take anymore. I don't care if Winona Ryder's on it. I'm not watching it. So I stopped watching Stranger Things, but I appreciate the reference.
That is
Then
almost exactly what he said while watching the second episode, and
it's
then
not the 80s.
he walked out of the room.
I don't care what upside down world they're exploring. That's not the 80s. So I'll take your word for it, Janet. Thank you for that reference. The other thing she says is magnets is the correct answer, even though there are no right or wrong answers here. Apparently, that is the correct answer. So you've nailed it. Oh, it's very accurate to the Midwest 80s. Don't get me started, Janet. Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
You're playing with fire. All right. So the other thing Janet said that I wanted to reference is she said, when do we launch? And I'm not going to use the phrase that you don't like, but lightning round, the podcast where we just yell out random questions at Rick, because nothing sounds more torturous to me than doing that. So
Janet, you continue to make me love you more and more with every passing moment.
That does not sound like fun at all, but it could be a thing where I just sit there uncomfortably and awkwardly and people launch questions at me and make me do the one thing next to eating in front of people that makes me the most uncomfortable.
Yeah, he really doesn't like that at all. Soon. So I think soon, Janet, is when we're going to launch that.
All right, cool. Yeah. I need some more editing work to do. I'm getting my process down. It's too tight. I need some more editing. Okay. So that ends Mildly Interesting Questions. Thank you for your answers and responses. And I look forward to seeing what we're going to do with Mildly Interesting Questions next season. But
you just admitted that there were going to be more questions.
I said I look forward to seeing what we do with Mildly
What we do
Questions.
is ask them. We ask them. Asked and answered.
I'm sorry, we've already gone over time for this part of the agenda, so I'm going to have to table this. We can put it on the parking lot. We'll have to circle back to discuss it later. Did you want to do the Robert's Rules of Order that you were doing previously?
We have old business. New business.
We have a quorum if you would like to bring something up to vote. Okay, so
no, but we were going to try to keep this one short, given the day that it is, and so I feel like we need to take action, decisive action.
Let's go. Let's go. We have very few things left, so
let's do it.
I'm looking at my production meeting notes. I haven't had a chance to check anything off yet, but we're done with that. We're now on to production notes. Do you have any production notes, Cami?
Yes, I think that weekly production meetings are too much.
Okay. What is your intended correction for that?
I would like to try doing monthly production meetings and see how that cadence feels. If it feels way too little, then maybe we do every other week.
Okay. And then just because I don't disagree with that. It does feel like a lot, especially now that we've worked out most of the kinks to do this every week. But I would ask, we get a lot of good shorts and reels content out of the questions. Okay. Please let us know what your thoughts are.
So let's talk about Mildly Interesting Questions, which are a huge feature. You see why I let it go earlier, because now it's a production meeting conversation. We get a lot of mileage out of these Mildly Interesting Questions that you and I ask one another each week. And so I'm thinking we do record weekly Mildly Interesting Questions for short content. And if you wanted to address
not live.
No.
Or live.
Not live.
Okay.
Except for the thing that Janet and I are secretly planning behind your back right now. I know it doesn't look like but I am typing with Janet right now. We're planning an entire show around asking you questions live to make you uncomfortable.
That sounds not fun.
So yes, I think we do. I think we do a live monthly production meeting, and then we just record shorts whenever it floats our boat.
So you like so again, Spike is upset that we haven't revealed this. I can hear him yelling at me. The thing we have started to do as an experiment is not just chop up things from episodes into shorts, but we've done this thing where like we give one another prompts and we're like, go record some content based on this. And we don't, it's kind of like the questions, like we don't know what one another's recording. We just start with a prompt and then we throw it together into a short or a series of shorts. So I kind of like that in terms of it can happen on the fly. Like we
Mhm.
don't need to really prep for it or plan for it. And then we, yeah, can just do a monthly production meeting to bring people up to speed on stats, and we can still do a mildly interesting question thing then as well.
Mhm.
I think that's probably more sustainable. My only caveat is I may push back if I feel like we don't have enough content for shorts and
Okay.
that kind and reels and
Okay.
that kind of stuff, because
I
that,
understand.
like it or not, that's part of this game now these
No, I
days.
get it. It's just that we've very much discussed that we're doing this because it's fun and relaxing,
Yeah.
and having to do two, like recording sessions for a weekly episode and recording sessions for a production meeting every week is feeling like a lot. And I don't want it to feel like a lot. I want to wake up and be like, oh my God, we get to record today. This is awesome.
Okay. Cool.
Also, you edit a lot. You have a lot of editing work to do. So one live production meeting a month means so much less editing work for you in theory.
Yes, and that also means for folks who are listening to this that the podcast is now reduced to mostly guests with very little bonus content.
So that's a really great point. So let's ask the people, if you're watching this and you're like, actually, Cami,
Let
your
me
best
mansplain to
episodes are
you.
just the
Yeah.
two of you being idiots together.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's never going to happen. But
so
okay,
yeah,
let's throw that out there as that
just
may
in
potentially
case.
be. Yeah.
I have I have allergies. I'm
Mhm.
a little sniffly. I feel like Melissa McCarthy. I've never blown my nose on camera, and I don't want to.
Can
Spike doesn't want me to either. It's fine.
we
We're
could
good.
we okay.
We're good.
Um so yeah, I agree with you. Let's reduce the behind the scenes stuff. Uh Janet is just cruel. I'm near Janet. I'm gonna block you on Facebook if you keep this up.
He's not.
She says, actually, Cami, the best episodes are you asking Rick questions, which is not true at all. I don't appreciate that, Janet. It's not very nice. Um,
It's so good.
yeah, it's funny though. So okay, so we'll go that direction, uh, but with the potential that we need to explore that in August and say, are we still
Yeah.
generating enough content? Because yes, this is supposed to be something that we enjoy and we look
Oh my
forward to.
gosh, we both should have answered mildly interesting people when we asked one another what our favorite but most useless hobby was.
It's not useless.
How did I miss it?
We're introducing people to people they might not know who are wildly interesting. So,
Okay.
but all I'm saying is, as there are production meetings where we're totally transparent with you, and then there are executive meetings where Cami and I are really transparent with one another. And Cami knows that I can't half-ass anything, and it's not
Mm-mm.
enjoyable to me if I'm kind of half-assing it. So even though it means more work, I enjoy it more. I come from a long line of coal miners and rail workers. If I don't have black lung, what am I doing? So like, I need to put in the work to make it enjoyable to me. And so if I don't have enough work to do, or I'm not seeing the numbers move enough, then I may get frustrated. And so I may need to pull an emergency break and be like, we need to do more X, Y, or Z.
Mhm. And I
Yeah.
completely respect that about you.
Cool. Speaking of numbers, are we ready to move on to the stats for the week?
Yes. And I'm
Okay.
going to complain.
Okay, please do. We're on to the stats section. Please complain.
I looked this morning and recorded the number of Instagram followers that we had. And
Mhm.
then later in the afternoon, something happened and our short got a bunch of views. So we got 2 more followers. So I had to mar my notebook right here. I had to be like, no, it's no longer that.
Unfortunate.
And then right before the show, I checked again because I was like, I want to be accurate. And I had to change it again. So we have 233 followers. So everyone, if you're going to follow us, please follow us, but don't follow us right before a production meeting when I have to keep updating my notes.
So it's up a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's up a little bit. I'm just kidding. You can follow us whenever you want to. You're welcome to follow us at any time. That was fake complaining.
And we have hooked our Instagram up to the Facebook now. So
The
wherever you want to follow us. We've hooked Instagram up to Facebook as if that's not the same exact fucking company. So, but
It's
anyway.
amazing. They make it so easy. I wonder how they
weird.
collaborate so well.
So, if you just like following us on the Facebooks, you'll get our content there. If you want to follow us on the gram or whatever the kids call it, like you'll get our content there. Just it's choose your own adventure for where you get the social, or follow both, and like all our stuff, like Cami and I do. Cami even uses the accounts to like her own photos. Like
I use it to like your photos too.
Oh, that's nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So let me get in any other stats you want to share.
I have no additional stats.
Okay.
That's the only stat.
So from my perspective on the audio podcast, which is available on any podcasty platform that puts noise in your ears when you click on the buttons. So that could be Apple Podcasts, could be Spotify, could be Overcast, could be, I don't know, people listen to iHeart Radio, iHeart Media stuff even, and hear our stuff. So we currently have 1,368 plays, which again, it's just a machine. Like every week we get the same number of listens. And I don't really know how to break that trend. Not that I'm disappointed in it anyway, but we are getting to the point where some of our original episodes, like people have stopped listening to like some of the first episodes and they're only listening to the newer ones. So I would like to figure out ways to highlight some of those amazing guests that we had back in the early days. So maybe that's something I can do with the newsletter, where I can do like blast from the past. Here's Jordan Hales and all the awesome stuff that she said.
Also, something we can do with our season finale. So our between season 1 and season 2, we're doing a retrospective, I guess, of season 1. And I think that'd be a great time for us to highlight those earlier guests.
Yep. Cool. I have an idea for that retrospective that I haven't fully formulated yet, but we can discuss in our executive session after the production meeting.
The one where we have sandwiches?
Yeah. Yes, it's catered. We have a craft table for the executive session. Sorry, you don't get a craft table for the production meeting. That's just how it is. We only have so much budget. We need to get more. Go find more people to watch. Go find more people to watch this, so we have budget, and you will get a craft table. We'll DoorDash like you a coupon or something. I don't know, but just anyway. So 13,
that's a big promise to make, dude.
1,300. If they get if they like what we're doing, they recommend it to other people. Those other people become followers. It's a pyramid scheme. They deserve to benefit from the Ponzi scheme that we're.
So where are we starting, a cult?
No, I don't have the energy for a cult.
Okay, good. I don't think I'm ready to be a cult leader.
I have the energy for a cult. I just don't have the energy for a cult. I have an energy for OCCULT. A cult.
Oh, yes, obviously. Fine. Let's go watch some of the cult stuff after this and after our
cult.
Executive meeting. Okay, here's some more stats. I want a sandwich.
All right. Whoa. All right. So that's the podcast. For YouTube, we have 108,000 views so far. So we did that 100,000 view celebration. We're almost 10,000 over that. We have 893 total watch hours. So we're edging ever closer to 1,000 watch hours, which I think will probably be our next, depending on what happens. I think that'll probably be our next kind of like mildly interesting win. And we are at 287 subscribers currently on the channel, and it's been fluctuating. It's been, we go through these periods where it's like we get 2 followers, we lose 3 followers, we get 4 followers, we lose 2 followers. So it's been kind of oscillating around 287 right now. And the other thing, and I just noticed another comment, is our time code king is back adding time codes too.
Hi, Mahesh.
So Mahesh he'd been like, "This is enough. You people are overworking me with the time codes and the
But
things."
you know what? When you are feeling overworked, overstressed, the most important thing is to stop, take a break, take care of yourself first.
And as Cami always says, don't do this unless you enjoy doing it. And so he has come back and provided time codes for several of our other videos. So
That
if you're
mostly
in,
makes me happy because I feel like he's doing it because he likes doing it, and I like it when people like doing things.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
And it really, and I mean this in all, we're being kind of glib about this, but I mean this in all
I'm not.
sincerity. Like he is really kind to pick out super interesting moments of mildly interesting stuff and highlight those for folks. So if you get the chance, go through. It's Enlighten Me is his YouTube name. If you get a chance to go through Mahesh's comments, please do. He's always great at highlighting some interesting portions of the work that we're doing. And my voice is apparently going. So that's all the stats.
An
we
entire
have.
season of talking has been a lot for you.
It really has. The only thing, unless you have anything else, Cami, the only other thing I have is we would really appreciate it if you have the time to join us for the launch of season 2, which is Tuesday, June 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah. And if you can be there live, great. If not, we have this fancy doohickey that records everything for you anyway. So you'll get to see it one way or the other. But we would really love to have you there live so you can please keep Janet at bay as she tries to get more questions for me or whatever she's doing.
No.
I think I think some of her shots are probably like anytime Rick gets asked a question, take a shot. Like I think that's probably what's happening. I don't want to
Hey, Rick, do you think that's what's
project.
happening?
I don't want to project.
I just asked you a question. You see.
Stop it. Just stop. It's like that was the fun. That was a funny part of that Dungeons and Dragons thing, where they have the you can only ask 5 questions to these corpses, and then they kept asking stupid questions, and the corpse would go, "Yeah," like, no, that's not for you.
No.
Yeah.
And then they got later. They get tired of asking the corpse questions, so they just leave one dude hanging. So
Yeah. Sad. No one.
I feel bad for that dude. Like, can he ask himself a question?
Yeah. 5 questions. It's almost like they based it off mildly interesting questions.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Chris Pine. I see what you did. 5 questions. All right. Anything else, Cami, before we close out season 1, shut this all down, potentially never to come back again?
No,
anything else?
That's not true. That was a bunch of bullshit. I call bullshit.
We are shutting down season 1.
We're shutting down season 1, but it's not going to never be hurt. People can still go and watch it.
Can you guarantee we've got a season 2? Like, do you already have a
Have
guest
I already
in
recorded?
the can?
Have I already recorded an episode of season 2 with an amazing human that we know and love? Yeah, I can. I can promise there's already a season 2.
All right, fine.
and more booked. So sorry, Rick.
Fine, I guess we're
Coming back.
doing
Can
season
I
2.
can I take a moment to be all
What?
sappy and just it's been a long time since I used to podcast. Like some of you might know that, some might not know that, but I was a podcaster for years and years and years. I did a weekly show, a live show, and then I did another podcast, and then I did some like live interview podcasting stuff. And I'd really, it turns out I missed it, and this is a really bright spot in my life right now. And even when I'm struggling with other things, this is something that's really making me happy. So I just want to thank all of you for being here for it and for
You're
giving me a
welcome.
chance to play.
I'm happy to be here for it.
I'm glad, since you're the one that wanted to do it.
Oh, you were talking to them. I'm
I was
sorry.
talking to them.
I got lost in your eyes and thought you were talking to me. It's my fault.
Yeah, the octopus fell, so I'm having to look at this little dot.
All right, cool.
But,
See, that
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
That all works. Okay.
Maybe we need a sticker. We need a sticker.
So yeah, that could work. So, or some googly eyes we can stick to the back of your camera. The season 1, mildly interesting people, mildly interesting win. We made it through an entire season, 20 episodes and a bunch of bonus content. Looking forward to releasing episode 1 of season 2 in the coming weeks, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next live. Yes, you as well.
Okay.
All of us.
Janet especially.
No, Janet's at something. She's got a thing. She's at a leadership convention, she says.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be good for your career.
Tell you what, Janet, why don't you just put this up on the big screen at your leadership convention and really entertain some people with annoying questions that I get asked.
I can't wait. I'm going to come up with the best. Janet, did you know that I accept questions for Rick for the mildly interesting questions?
It's true.
So far, the only person who has sent me questions is Mahesh. You could start sending me questions, and then I can have questions from you and from Mahesh and from me. So just saying.
That's even less work for Cami.
It is.
All right. We promised to cut this short. She did send you one. You just never used it. You said it was a really hard question. And I remember, because I have to listen to all of our episodes like 5 times.
Okay. Janet, I kind of remember this now. Just text it to me instead of Facebooking it to me. I never check Facebook.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And
did you already text it to me and I forgot? I'll go check my texts.
All that and more. So thank you for joining us. As I said, this is going to be a short one. We're going to finish like 2 minutes early. So
maybe 3.
You're welcome. You're welcome for us keeping it short. Thank you, as always.
Show my Potter's Whimsy earrings before we go.
Yes, of course you may. Thank you, everyone, for not only taking the time to show up, but as Cami said, for just being here and participating and just following along on this random hobby journey thing we're doing. We hope you find it entertaining. We definitely find it entertaining trying to entertain you. So we look forward to spending more time with you in season 2 and hopefully a few seasons beyond that. So have a good rest of your weekend, and we will catch up with you in a week or so. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.